Welcome our Channel 9 viewers who have been following the coverage on NBC this afternoon. And we have continuing coverage of the explosions today at the Boston Marathon.
And first responders that were on the scene were there immediately. They were at the tents that are already serving those finishing this very difficult run, 6.2 miles. Hundreds of police officers as well working security at the event, and all of them ready to help the runners as well as many others. 9 News reporter Todd Walker is in the information center, I should say, with more on how law enforcement handled what was absolutely a chaotic situation. Todd.
Yeah, it absolutely was. We're going to play some of the radio traffic for you in just a moment. What you're going to hear is the first few minutes of this very chaotic situation. It's going to be kind of hard to understand at first, but then you'll hear officers get organized. They will try to get people to the hospital, get them as much help as they can. You will hear the constant call for ambulances. There can never be enough out there. And then they try to figure out what exactly was going on.
Units, stay off the air. Units, stay off the air. Just make your way over there. All units, stay off the air and make your way over there. Delta 984, here's what I need. I want ring road cleared so I can get ambulances out, okay? Delta 984, sir, go. Help up from the medical tent. Get as many people up here as you can from the medical tent. We're going to need more ambulances. 755 Boston crime scene, we have it. Get the bomb squad up front.
There are multiple people down here, okay? I don't know what the cause is. Stand by.
Tango 901, we have an unattended backpack at Boylston and Fairfield. We need to set up a perimeter here, get people away from it. Set up a perimeter, Boston and Fairfield, guys. Boston and Fairfield, clear everybody out of there. Use caution. There might be possible additional devices. Once again, all officers monitoring. Use caution. There are possible other devices in the area.
I need more ambulances down to this location, okay?
Yes, sir. They've been notified. They're on the way. We got every unit on possible going, sir. Just hang on.
Tango Echo 2.
Need another ambulance down here at 755 Boylston.
Have the bomb squad call me immediately. 5449. Immediately. Some form of a possible device that has not detonated.
Now, as you heard, there was a constant call for ambulances. There are some ambulances on standby for races like this, just for any sort of medical emergency. But when you have a mass casualty event like this, they wanted every ambulance in the city. Cities train for events like this all the time. They, of course, hope to not have to use that training. But as you heard, it didn't take very long at all for the radio traffic to go from essentially hard to understand to very organized, everyone stay off the air and only speak when you absolutely have to, when you're calling out suspicious devices, things like that, guys.
Which is one of the big changes we've seen in law enforcement tactics since 9/11, Todd. A lot of them now train for just exactly this event, and they're ready for mass casualties and explosions such as we saw today.
Yeah, they had the SWAT team there in no time, and I'm not sure if the SWAT team would be on standby for a certain event like the Boston Marathon, but they were there in no time. They were there checking out multiple devices, because when explosions like this start happening, people just take off, and so there were backpacks laying around everywhere that no one knew if they were planted there, if it was just someone running from the scene, and so they had a lot of suspicious backpacks, suspicious devices that they had to go through before they could move on to the next scene.
Yeah, and then just those images, those photographs remind us that so many of the people that were injured were bystanders, someone that was cheering on that runner that had worked so hard to make it to the Boston Marathon.
This is right at the finish line, and as Susie was talking about, if you're watching us on Channel 20, though, at the very end, it's lined with grandstands that just go up so tall, and there are thousands of people who come out to watch all of their loved ones who are running in this race. I have a friend who was running it, and he said he just got through the finish line minutes before this happened. He was all right, but there are so many people right now who are in the hospital because it's such a packed area.
Right, terrible casualties. And Todd, we heard from one of our former Channel 9 employees, Steve Carter, who had a daughter running in the Boston Marathon today. And Steve is saying that they took his daughter off at mile 24, and there was also the confusion and chaos comes with that action, trying to prevent runners from, everyone was trying to reach the finish line. They were nearly towards the end, and everyone was trying to sort it out, and not everyone had heard heard the explosions, many people thought it was fireworks or part of a Patriots Day celebration, which is heavily celebrated in Boston. So there was a lot of chaos on the other end of the explosion as well.
You can only imagine what it would take to get runners who have trained for years to this point to say, no, you need to stop. They're delirious at that point. They're so tired, so they probably didn't quite understand why the race officials were telling them you can't go any further than this.
Oh, so difficult, and then trying to find everyone. Thank you, Todd.